I'm your host, W. Adam Clark, and we will be joining our players. My fun fact for the evening is look at all this production value that I added just for this show. We got some brand new music. We got some brand new lights. I've got brand new monster cards. People are about to have brand new headaches.
You're just trying to make this TPK special.
Just think if you TPK in the first episode, you will all have played the campaign from beginning to end.
It's true.
I mean,
Oh my god, that is true.
Technically, you could continue the campaign with new characters. Technically. All right. I'll go ahead and go. Hi, I am Ari Cypress Everly. As you can see, we are now listing pronouns under our lower name things, our lovely name boxes that has our name and pronouns and character name and class and a little picture of our characters, which is our little character models, which is very, very nice.
I spent all the money on post-production this time. Look at that.
I love it. It's clear. You can see everything, even on my relatively small screen. We've got chat down there. We've got character pictures. We've got people pictures. We've got names
It is even a dyslexia-reducing font.
Oh, is that what it? Because of the angles, some of the pieces of letters bend off at.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps them from dancing around the wrong direction.
It's a tech-looking font, but it is also a nice little dyslexia-reducing font. I mean, nothing works perfectly, and everyone's dyslexia is a little one-off of everyone else's, but
it is a very orienting font. It definitely keeps things in order a little bit better, even for me. Without an actual dyslexia problem, I can tell, it's not making my brain bounce around as much reading it. So it is in fact a really nice font. As you can see, my pronouns are any. We've never really explicitly talked about that much on the channel before, I think. So if anybody has any questions later, you can always ask me in the chat. So I don't really want to go into characters too much because we haven't introduced them. So
we'll just do it live.
Go on, Sadie.
Okay. I'm Sadie Golden Dragon. I am also on Blue Sky. If you want to say hello, it's under Sadie Golden Dragon.
In fact, if you are on Blue Sky and you have followed us, I have a starter pack pinned that has all of the Blue Sky accounts for all of our players. So just go and follow all of them.
Nice.
Nice. I lost my. I was going to do a fun fact about my character, but she hasn't been introduced yet. So.
Well, we'll get to that in just a second.
Yep.
I'm Knock the Silence. I will be playing a character.
Everybody's system is all messed up because your macros are all wrong because you can't mention who you are yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could have. I just opted not to.
It's too late now.
You set precedent.
I set the precedent, and now it's my fault. It's my fault.
Nobody wants to be the first.
But fun fact, let's see, I think it's 1869, the Suez Canal opened, I think.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
I would offer another one, but still probably too political.
Fair.
Hi folks, I'm the old Baconator. I'm old, I eat bacon, I play games badly. I did it that way because it's a new campaign and there might be people that haven't heard that before.
It's very
Now
true.
you have and you won't have to again. Fun fact, this is all completely insane and I'm here for it. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
As we begin, all of you please roll me a d10.
Okay. The first roll. Hopefully many.
Yay! Good job, Sadie.
Woo.
Starting it off right.
Yep,
Okay.
let's get it right out of the open.
Well, this was only to determine what order I started with.
Yay!
So it's not nearly as
She's getting out of the way is what it is.
not nearly as bad as it could have been.
I mean,
Or would be usually.
We begin looking at a ex-terra view, so above the planet. You see the camera angling down, showing a blue-green world with alien constellation or alien continental formations. There are several cities of pristine white and silver dotting the landscape, connected by what looks like from this distance thin spider-like tendrils flowing between them. In actuality, these are exceptionally large highways, but we are quite a distance away. The camera pulls down out of the cosmos into the atmosphere, settling down on a constructed individual. Ari, describe your character.
So you see someone that I guess to most sci-fi aficionados would be thought of as a android, possibly robot, roughly humanoid, very long and thin of build, with, although roughly humanoid, feet and a head particularly that are more reminiscent of the shape of that of birds. Very beaked face and very kind of like spindled feet, and whose overall appearance, including posture, vaguely give one the general impression of some sort of crane or heron of some type. This robot or android is roughly is made of some kind of a silver metal or alloy of some sort, and every place where there is need for light to be glowing through, it is glowing through blue. Its movements are relatively smooth. Does not look like, it looks like it's able to move in most regular human fashions, if it is in fact moving. But other than that, just gives the general impression of robothood.
And you were pairing up with Bacon, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You are currently on your way to the temple at which he practices. You are walking through the capital city of Avernast, which is the world that you are on. The streets are bustling with activity, people of many races and creature types moving back and forth through the city amongst large buildings. The sky is clear, the sun is bright. One of the 3 moons of Avernest is currently visible at about 1/4 sky. The other 2 are currently concealed on the other side of the world. You move through the city, being passed by creatures larger and also smaller than you. Most of them walking, some of them moving on various techno-magical forms of transportation, from vehicles to spells to magic items, flying at a reasonably safe height above you. As you maneuver through the city, you see in front of you a grand, 50-foot spire. The spire itself has very little in the way of structure. It is merely a series of, almost like a series of posts that all point up towards an apex, but have kind of a bowing shape towards them. And as they get about halfway up their height, which is also about the maximum point of the bowage, you also see some connecting lines running back and forth between them, so that it has a very techno-organic look and feel to the structure. As you approach, you see a number of individuals who, some of them dressed in scholastic robes, some of them dressed in more common attire, and you look back and forth through the teachers and students at the temple, trying to find the individual you were hoping to meet. Give me a perception check. Okay. You continue moving through, and after a few minutes of searching, you see a young Felinoid. Bacon, describe your character, please.
As mentioned, he is a Felinoid. The player is like something you would see from an entertainer in Vegas in the 1950s, the equivalent thereof, the Earth equivalent thereof. He's quite dapper, almost suave, you might say. The hair that he wears on his head, aside from all of the other furry bits, is slicked back slightly, and he's carrying around what the Earth equivalent is a BlackBerry with all of the little keys and everything like this. It's slightly larger than that because the screen is a bit more akin to a modern smartphone, not quite that big, and it's not a touch screen, but the display is a little larger, and it is color as opposed to the black and white, what have you. Belted, not carrying anything else aside from that at this time. He's currently looking through stacks of, both on his left, tomes and whatnot, and on his right, certain circuits, boards, that sort of thing. He's trying to correlate a little bit. It's quite the inquisitive fellow.
And he should give me a perception check now.
And I will now make a perception check.
As you are deep in thought.
So I see him.
Yes. You see him, and you see that his head is currently down and reading.
As he's walking, of course.
Yes.
His
Completely safe.
Does he have like a title or something?
Oh, no.
Okay.
He is nowhere near that.
I was just wondering if there were any honorifics we use around here, or so just normal ones.
No.
Okay, so I am approaching him in the hallway?
Yes.
Whatever. Mr. Martin, how are you today?
Look up just as I'm about to run into him.
I make sure he doesn't run into me.
Fair enough.
Hi, Heraldium. Blessings. How are we this day? Oh, do we need maintenance again?
I am operational at the moment.
One moment, please. I go around and I look for... In my younger days, because Rhodium was actually a case study for me back in the day.
Okay.
So I look for the button that I used an old label maker for, that I labeled history eraser,
Okay.
just to see if it's there. That's going to be a thing. When I was a kid.
As he puts random labels on me every time he sees me.
Yeah, I have no idea what the button actually does.
Fair
I
enough.
just put it on there because I don't want anybody pushing
There
it.
probably aren't too many external buttons. I mean, it's just a safety precaution, right?
A joke among friends. Very good, very good. So, how can I help you?
GM, do I know what I was looking for?
You were actually sent here to retrieve him because one of the temple masters had wished to speak with him.
Yes, you are wanted at the temple. Allow me to escort you.
But of course, my friend. Do you have any idea why they want me at the Temple of the Great Contrologic Unit?
I was not given that information.
Well, we do search for clues. Very well. We go.
So I turn around and lean on.
As the two of you move from left to right across the screen also wipes from left to right, catching up to you and passing you. Perhaps that is foreshadowing.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we cut to a scene involving one of the dedicated soldiers of Avernast, a Centurion. Noctis, would you like to describe your character, please?
Is he on duty or off duty?
He's currently off duty.
Off duty. Okay, he is human, early 30s, kind of a mid-height, 5'6", 5'7", stocky build. He's off duty. Let's see. He would probably be wearing some plastic C's just because he doesn't have any other real clothes to go out in. So it's light mustard colored camouflage and a couple of little, slap-on patches to give just basic rank and that kind of information. See, he would also have, or over top, or on top of his top, there's actually a very substantial amulet in a close, or that's hanging off of a close-fitting necklace that signifies his rank. And other than that, he is, combat boots and sidearm, if that's something that's permitted while they're off duty. Then
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the amulet is also your Centurion key?
It is.
Nice.
Nice.
And as you are off duty, you are heading towards a local bar where you are preparing to meet an old Centurion friend of yours, a gentleman named Testa. And as you walk into the bar, Sadie, did you have any pre-planned description for what the bar looked like?
It's a cube, really, and
Nice.
It looks like it's aluminum on the outside, really shiny, and instead of being a little rounded, but still cube-like.
Nice.
And the inside is likewise metallic and clean, maybe some whites or grays, and maybe a glass mirror in the back with a bunch of bottles.
Nice. As Remy walks into the bar, he doesn't see the individual that he was preparing to meet here. He does, however, see one of the few people who are currently here, as it's fairly early in the day. Sadie, would you like to describe your character, please?
Well, from the model, it looks like she's much taller than I thought.
No, she's just very slight. She can be any height you want her to be.
Oh, okay. I'm 5'10", so why not?
Okay.
5'10". She has, like I said, gray marble looking skin, and blue eyes, and her elementalness came out in a pair of very beautiful elf ears and a very bald head.
Nice.
And
Smooth. Smooth and shiny.
she's just wearing what everybody's wearing lately. She's kind of that college age, kind of trying to get by and trying to invent, because that's her real passion. But she took this job to make ends meet.
Okay.
Gotta pay the bills.
Yep. So, but she has met the Centurion before. She might not know his name, though.
Okay.
Is your party not here, Mr. Centurion?
Well, I don't see him around. Mind if I take that table over there to wait for him?
See, would you like anything from the bar or the kitchen?
Oh, wouldn't happen to have a cider or something, would you?
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
I imagine we have hard cider on tap, so I'll just go pull them a pint of hard cider.
As the two of you continue in the bar and the other two continue walking, and everyone is pretty much going about their day as normal. Everyone give me a perception check, please.
Okay.
I'm skilled at that.
I am not. I'm just lucky.
It's still my dice rolling, but
I'm skilled at that, and Sadie was not. And rolled one.
it's still my dice rolling.
Okay.
Good. You're
So everyone aside from the Stone Elemental Kin hears a disturbing sound, almost like a cross between an electrical static and a high-pitched whine of rending steel.
Wow, I am really oblivious.
Oh, you're inside. It buffeted the noise.
It's a noisy bar. It's fine.
The two who are currently outside see in the crystal clear skies above Avernast, the sound has come from a tear in the sky, a jagged rip, which you lack much reference for how far away it is. It could be 20 feet in the air and thus maybe only a couple inches long. It could be a mile in the air and thus maybe a quarter mile long.
Gotcha.
You do know that it was a fairly extensive amount of noise.
And this is something we've never seen before.
Correct.
We should go for cover.
maybe that would be a good idea. Yes. Sweet,
It's-
please.
Is there some kind of like a building nearby or something we can duck into
Yeah.
in case something flies out of this thing?
Yeah, you were just walking down the street, so you quickly duck under the awning of a nearby building. What does Remy do?
See, well, I assume there are windows.
Yeah.
In here.
Of course.
So he'll look out. It's like, well, that ain't good. I take it there's some sort of communication device that he would have.
Yes.
He will pick up his phone and call into command.
Okay.
Has there been any reports of anything in the atmosphere over the planet?
About this time, this because you have kind of looked out and looked at it and then cued your radio. This has given the Stone Elemental enough time to see what you were looking at. And as you are all staring at this object, you see tiny motes kind of like separate from the tear or perhaps pass through it. And you see them first one, then a few, then a dozen, dozens, thousands of very small points of glistening darkness that begin to descend. And as they do, Remy's radio goes berserk, and there are calls everywhere. So, the two of you are outside, and you see this. What do you choose to do?
So these are little objects like falling from the thing, like a tail of something.
Yeah, they're too far away to make out what they are at the moment. They are simply specks.
Are they falling or like flying out?
More in the flying category.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and call that at least plus on good. How far are we from the temple?
Probably a good 200-ish, 250-ish feet.
Sprint.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Martin and I just kind of, look at each other and start sprinting towards the temple.
Yeah.
And what happens from the inside of the bar?
I don't like the way that looks, and I'm surprised I haven't felt anything. But,
So Remy starts hearing the chatter come across the radio,
Yes.
looks down, takes his drink, downs it.
Okay.
Can't be wasting alcohol now. Ma'am,
yes.
you might want to see about closing shop for today. I don't think this looks good. And he'll get out payment for the drink and put it on the table. Still keeping his eye out the door. He'll get up from the booth and start walking to the door.
Okay.
Kind of stick his head right, or kind of stand outside the door, look up for it, and he'll queue up the frequency for his command structure. And ask, do we have any orders?
As you begin saying that, you notice a few things happening, and you respond with incredible speed. The first thing that you notice is that as the specks have gotten closer, you can start to make out forms. It looks almost to be like shapes of 6 or perhaps 8-limbed creatures with beetle-like wings, is the majority of them. Others, there are some that are small bipedal creatures, also very dark in nature, that seem to be repulsing down using some form of an anti-grav technology. But as they are doing so, the energy that they are generating from the palm of their hand is a almost toxic green color. You hear excited chatter, and it is calling a emergency evacuation order, and it is ordering the Centurions to attempt to get everyone towards emergency shelters.
Key up the mic, acknowledge the order.
Okay.
And I will switch where I will activate my Centurion armor. And he rapidly changes from the mustard camouflage to this large bulbous golden armor with this huge honking shield on his left side.
As
Nice.
you see, as he touches the amulet, there's a flash of light, and the armor either immediately comes out from the amulet or is summoned forth by it. It's tough to tell, but in the flash of a second, the armor completely encapsulates him.
And I tuck my head back into the bar. It's like, or how many people were in the bar? Was it just her?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, there's been a general order for evacuation. If you would please go ahead and lock up shop and come with me.
Absolutely. I'm probably already opening the safe to shove my
Yeah,
drawer
you're
or
grabbing
whatever
things,
in it.
throwing things in, and as you start to head out the door, two things will now occur. The first thing is that as you and the Centurion are stepping out of the door, you are about to be careened into by a feline beast folk and a clockwork. The second thing that happens is, as you look up, and all of you see this, which is why you're about to careen into one another, this massive tear in which thousands of creatures were able to pass through. You see what appears to be the image of a pair of hands grab either side of the tear and pull it open.
That's definitely double plus on good.
Definitely double plus on the good.
Yeah, more like double down.
And you see in the sky, in the tear, this feature.
Oh, hello, bug god.
The face is a open, almost beaked maw filled with sharp, pointed teeth. You see in the back of the image, flashing around, whipping wildly, a number of tentacles, all ending in sharpened points. And you all hear, echoing through the streets and off of the buildings, well, it has been quite a long time, hasn't it? You all have absolutely no reference to what it's talking about. It is, however, very large, very voluminous, very loud, and very angry.
GM, can I assume that I already have stuff made that's equivalent to mana slots? Okay.
Yeah.
I just automatically take one hand and flick out a little, kind of like maybe dodecahedral or something like device that I seemingly flick something on and reach out next to me and smash it into Martin's back, at which point it shatters into a million little pieces that skirt around his entire body, encasing him in a film of small metal pieces.
Yay!
And you now have living armor on you, sir.
Okay.
You have techno-organic living armor. As in the spell living armor, except it looks techno-organic rather than bark.
Your AC is increased by 2. You have resistance to bludgeoning and slashing damage, but gain vulnerability to fire damage for 1 minute. And there's more stuff too if it comes up.
Right. Okay. As my construct companion is doing that, I am, because curiosity, and I'm a cat, very quickly tap a few buttons on the BlackBerry. This is dumb. Point the BlackBerry, take a photo of the thing.
Okay.
Do research later.
Okie doke.
Google search. What is this thing?
Totally reasonable.
Right. And then once I did put that back in the back, run.
Yes. Alexa, what is Cthulhu?
Can we assume that the temple is one of the designated shelter zones?
It is. They are temples are generally some of the strongest buildings. So
that's what I figured. So we're probably still like going and in Notch's case, ushering people that direction anyway.
As you are running through the streets, you see what is coming down. The individuals that were coming down on the green repulsors, they appear to be made out of obsidian with this toxic green color of almost like circuit paths running through their bodies. They have 2 massive horns off the top of their head, with a third post, which is a slightly smaller horn, which angles back further in the middle. And as they are using this energy to repulse down, you see that there is a constant hum of arcane energy back and forth between the horns, antlers, antenna. Could be all of the above. Additionally, the other ones that you thought were 8-legged is in fact because it is one being carrying another one down to the ground and then disappearing off. And you start to see some of them separating. And those would be a 6-limbed creature with a green, almost slimy exoskeleton. They are carrying shields and blades made of an unknown material. Also, they carry an odd object in one of their upper limbs, which strikes a difference in that it is brightly colored and appears to be barbed or perhaps thorned in some way. The creatures that were dropping them off are in fact beetle-winged flying creatures carrying long rifles that pulse and hum with a odd blue energy. Anyone who is trained in technical, as well as Remy, may make me a technical roll. For those new to the simulacrum system, technical is a skill used for crafting objects, and it is based on dexterity.
I was going to say, I do have that skill, but how do I roll it since it's not on that?
Pick
Oh,
any
roll
skill that you are
dexterity.
trained in dexterity
In
and roll it the
dexterity.
same.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Martin is very unfamiliar with this information. However, for everyone else, the weapon looks similar to, in design, or at least in color, to some of the heavier rail weapons that are used by Avernast's military. As you continue running, as all of these beings are coming down, it has been 10,000 years that I have waited to be able to return. I assure you, the sins of your ancestors will be visited upon you.
Sweet.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Lovely, I mean. Anyway.
Running.
Yes.
Running.
Okay.
Run to the temple.
As you begin running through the streets, you are now doing a duck and weave action, trying to maneuver your way through the streets around throngs of people, many of whom are going entirely the wrong direction, because that's what panic does, while also avoiding, or perhaps, depending, engaging some of the creatures falling from the sky.
Kind of like bashing them off us as we go, bashing them off of other people as we go.
Exactly. So, I would like everyone to please give me a athletics or acrobatics roll
Okay.
in an attempt to move faster.
Wow. Not happening.
All right, everyone seems to be moving faster, but Remy, you notice that the barkeep seems to be looking up, looking the wrong directions, whatever, is having a lot of trouble trying to keep pace and move at full speed. What do you do?
I'm gonna fall in behind her and ensure she is pointed in the right direction.
Put her the right way.
Okay,
It probably accompanied with some slight encouragement.
all right.
Yeah, little
and-
nudges.
and-
This way. That way.
More than direction.
That way.
That way. Move now.
I mean, he's pretty bulky if he's in his armor, so.
As you,
And keeping up.
yes.
I'm
As
saying you're probably getting body checked the right direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Faster. As you continue moving forward, you notice that one of the beetle wings with the weapon takes a moment and fires into a building, not at you, but more above you, as falling rocks begin to collapse, rubble and debris. Please give me a dexterity saving throw, everyone.
Let's see. I am going to spend my action for brace.
Okay?
And also, if I can, attempt to grab my Techo and kind of.
Okay.
Oh, I tripped.
So did I.
Okay. With your shield skill, do you take, if you take half damage, do you take no damage, or do you not have that one yet?
I believe.
In any event, I will come back to you in a second, because Martin has no such benefit. So, Martin is unfortunately going to have a searing hot piece of stone shrapnel, roughly the size of a bowling ball bag, land heavily on his shoulder. You would normally take 15 points of damage. Because of the armor being cast on you, I'm going to drop that to 11.
Okay.
Nice.
That's still a lot.
Do I have an opportunity to take an action and cast something?
You will in just a second.
I don't see that ability
Okay.
anywhere in there. I know I've read it.
If you have it, we'll give you back the points later. You will take half damage, which means you would take 7 points of damage from the falling debris. Or, because of your positioning, as Maiteko would be taking 15 points of damage, you can choose to take half of her damage so that you are taking 15 and she is merely taking 7. Basically throwing the shield up and over in a way where it's going to land heavily on the shield and the extra damage is the torsion on the shoulder.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah, rotator cuffs hate that. So you take 15 points of damage and she will take 7 instead of going the other direction around. And you continue running forward through the city. You are seeing scenes of assault. The large mantis-headed creatures swinging their swords into various people. Some of them shooting spines out of the odd device that they were carrying into others. Everyone give me a acrobatics or athletics roll again.
Did I take any damage that time?
Your roll was a 14. You would have taken 7.
Thank you.
All right, you are all managing to run at breakneck speed. You have decided that now is a good time to run. Also, if there is any, you can all take either an action, a major or a minor action to do anything else while you are sprinting.
Okay. Cantrips are still unlimited even in this class, right? It's
Correct.
Just there are like an infinite number of them prepared. Okay.
Cantrips are always unlimited.
I'm going to my hand opens up and out of it shoots out a small hummingbird-like creature that circles around and finds an open spot on Martin's skin and injects a healing serum.
Okay.
It's a healing touch. It is...
Also, so that all of you know, one of the other changes that we have in this system is you no longer have healing dice, you have a healing pool. Your healing pool is equal to your maximum number of hit points, which means anything that heals from your healing pool can heal you a maximum of your max hit points in a day. Not all healing comes from your pool. Some things have their own method of healing, which means you do not have to use your pool to do so, such as potions. But basically, anytime that there is not an economy expended for the healing, then in those cases, it generally comes from the healing pool. In this case, healing touch is currently 1d4 hit points.
I mean...
Do you have the healer feat?
I
don't believe so.
I don't. I think I have the healing skill and a feat that has healing at camp, but not...
Okay, correct. All right, so that means that Martin heals 2 hit points out of his healing pool as he gets stung by a little origami syringe. You all continue running through. Give me one more set of acrobatics or athletics checks. That is a pass. That was a dangerous roll that decided to pass. And there was also another dangerous roll that decided to pass. You all successfully make it the rest of the way to the temple. There is a cacophony of noise and debris and explosions around you. However, you managed to basically outpace most of the onslaught as you manage to make it running up to the stairs of the temple. As you begin running in, you see a old Felinoid priest who two of you are familiar with. It is Master Tovid. As he sees the four of you trying to run through the crowd, he kind of waves his staff in the air, and you see almost like a trail of sparks behind the head of the staff trying to grab your attention. Over here! Over here! You must come over here quickly!
So we go
Okay.
that way towards the thing.
Yeah.
As you enter the temple, you see there is combat going all around, and the everyone give me a perception check.
I'm trained in a lot of things, so I embarrass myself less.
Fair enough. Or would you prefer not to see it? Because that's also an option. If you don't want to look behind you, you don't have to.
No, she did. She got the same thing.
I got a
did.
10.
Yeah, I got 3 10s and a
There's a
6.
310, so you didn't, figure it out.
No, I'm looking at the chat, and I see an acrobatics check, and then 1, 2, 3 perception checks. But it's fine.
Okay, it's showing in my chat. That's weird.
Weird. Okay,
Not showing
I'll
on
do
mine.
another one.
there you go.
Much better. 21. Whatever I
Take it and
I'm
run with it.
noticing it all.
Okay,
Just take it. Just take it.
you see, I will drop this next to a normal-sized model on this holding on the loading page for scale. You see this.
Oh,
Oh dear.
Oh.
The massive number of tentacles whip and lash and kind of extend out like 15 or 20 feet from the creature, such that there is just a empty swath. Anything that comes near this thing is simply sliced down. It could be civilians, it could be Centurions. It doesn't really seem to matter. Anything that moves within basically a 50-foot wide area down this street is simply cut down.
lovely.
It is moving far slower than you are, which is much to your benefit. As you run into the temple, Master Tovid brings you into a side chamber, closing and locking the doors. Quickly, quickly, we do not have much time. I do not have enough time to explain to you what is happening. What you need to know is this. And he is holding, as you can see on the model, a small silver or argent metal of some kind, a bright metal orb, which has a series of glowing blue paths of light through its surface. I don't have time to explain to you, but I'm not going to have to. Take this. You need to find the other parts. He looks.
Okay. Who's he pushing it at?
He looks Martin in the face. Takes your non-tableted hand,
Right.
clasps the object in his hand and your hand underneath like this, so that it is in your hand.
Right. I will grip.
Your faith will guide you. You will find the answers. A split second later, you hear a massive explosion as a third of the wall of the front of the temple is thrown past the room that you're in.
Oh dear.
Oh,
As
Oh,
you
boy.
hold the orb, you feel a humming, pulsing sensation.
okay.
As the orb hums and pulses in your hand, you see the blue energy begin to build up. The orb begins to become warm. At that moment, the door is exploded inward. The old priest releases his hand, turns to face that massive monstrosity that up until this point, Sadie was the only one who was going to have nightmares about.
Lovely.
What does Martin do?
Hey, I've still got the thing. Half of me wants to go to the. Okay, I'm looking. Okay, it's warm. It's charging up. I'm looking for an activator switch. I'm looking for indicators. I'm looking for anything.
Okay, you stop.
Don't clue what all this is.
You look at the device, thinking to yourself, "We've got to go."
Yep.
And you see almost like a few pinpoints of blue light. And you know how sometimes you can get like if you lean on or get too much pressure on the eye, you'll see small sparks of visual distortion.
Right.
That, but in an electric blue color. A split second later, before you have a chance to comprehend what has just happened, there is a brilliant flash of blue light from the object.
Okay.
And a second later, when all of your eyes readjust, it's almost like a flash of lightning. It is disturbing enough that it takes your eyes a second or two to refocus.
Right.
And when they do, your characters are no longer in the temple. You are no longer in the city.
What the?
You are instead on a field made of dark pumice stone. The sky, which should be blue, or perhaps torn open, is instead a dark charcoal gray with rolling, boiling clouds. You see in the distance mountain peaks from which plumes of smoke extend. And around you, you see nothing familiar.
I was going to ask if I recognize the terrain at all.
Wherever you are, you have never seen this place before.
And now we commercial.
And now we cut the commercial. Let's actually take our break a second early.
Sure.
We're all going to go and take a quick break, mostly because I want to use my new BRB screen. In case anyone is in chat and missed me posting this earlier, for our inaugural episode, there are free packs available. You're welcome. Everybody can go and use the code ACROSSSTARS1 to get a free pack of Stream Loose cards. I don't have any campaign-specific ones yet. I apologize. However, all the rest of them are fairly nice as well. So if you are in chat, please feel free to go and grab an Across Stars pack for free. And while you're doing that, get up, take a quick break, take a stretch, and we will be back in just a minute. Bye! Okay, everyone. And with that, we are back. How's everybody feeling?
A little confused.
I believe I summed that up in stream chat with a quote from a lesser-known sci-fi series called Odyssey 5.
Nice. As we return, your characters find themselves in a large, sulfurous wasteland.
This is not Abernast.
And I'm going, what? 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 Spinning in
Remy's
circles.
Probably coming out of a brace position. Looks over at Martin. Would somebody care to elaborate on what has just happened?
It would seem we have been translocated.
Where?
Where?
To
I
win.
have no idea. I have not seen this before. This is... Oh boy. Yes, exactly.
Remy will cue up his communicator.
Okay? You get nothing but static.
Well, now that's unfortunate. And what's the range on the system that I have?
Generally 30 miles.
30 miles.
You quickly flip through all channels that are available to you, and you find literally nothing but dead air static.
Okay.
At this point, my character is sitting on the ground going, my job, my little tiny workshop. What's going? Where, what?
I still have hold of the ball.
Yes.
I am again going over it. I'm looking for an indicator, an activation switch, anything. Maybe something's changed since this activated.
Give me your choice of a investigation or technical roll or interface.
I'll go with
Interface, for those who wish to know, is the skill used to interact with thinking machines and also aware magic items. Interface is based on charisma. And for anyone who has ever spent 14 hours trying to figure out which one letter was wrong in 48 pages of code, you understand why. Because at some point you just beg the machine, you just beg the code to work and hope that it listens.
There we go. That'll do.
As you look it over, you notice that there is a sequence that doesn't seem to be connecting. Like you're following the light path, and it circles and traces and lines through the device, and then it gets to a spot where it should continue through to the channel and does not, and the pattern repeats itself.
That's okay. There's something there. I thumb over that spot.
Okay.
The dead spot, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Okay.
Does that give me anything?
As you do, and you feel your thumb along the edge of the crease in the ball, you feel an almost imperceptible shift in the surface of the orb, and the light circuit finishes its path through.
Okay.
And begins to hover out of your hand and then stops and settles back into your hand again.
Batteries drained. Limited capability.
What is required to recharge your power source?
Batteries self-charging. Time is required. Transpositional engine requires most of my remaining power cell. I am Dovak. Carbon forms prefer names. So I am Dovak.
And what is your purpose?
I function as the head of the Sector of Seven.
Does that sound familiar?
Give me a religion roll.
Hey, one of the things I'm not skilled in.
I know. But your dice are
But a
skilled
good roll.
anyway. With a 20 of the dirty variety. Anyone else want to make the roll so that I only have to say this once?
You know what? Why not? I'm not taking,
Sure.
but it is, in theory, mine. My religion, to try it.
Yes, you will have advantage.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do it again then. 14 is...
Mhm.
Wait. Yeah, 14 to beat. That does not...
And you didn't. Okay.
And that didn't beat mine either. I got a 17.
Remy and Martin have heard of the Scepter of Seven before. Like, super old heard of the Scepter of Seven?
7 is a numeral, yes?
Yes. Maiteko, how do you pronounce your character's name? Since I'm the only one that said it so far.
It is my Takeo.
Okay. Maiteko is aware that the Scepter of Seven is involved in Avernast's creation myth, like the forming of the world. But that is about as much as you're able to come down with.
Okay.
The unskilled, unaware, and generally oblivious to religion Herodium is aware that the Scepter of Seven, according to legend, was used to separate the darkness from the world, which is what allowed Avernast to become a world of relative peace and prosperity. There are occasionally there were in Avernast history periods of war. There were in Avernast history threats from a external source. But generally speaking, things have been relatively calm in Avernus history. The odd thing is, you are aware. Actually, give me a history roll real quick.
Okie dokie. I only roll well when that's good.
Apparently, you are aware that Avernast has much more than a 10,000 year history. And you know very
Right.
specifically that whatever Mr. Oogie Boogie was, he specifically says he has been locked up for 10,000 years. Now, there are many ways to explain this, none of which you have any information to support. But you are aware of that minor flaw in the information. However, that is the information that the party currently has about the Scepter of Seven.
An incongruous disclosure. The Scepter of the Seven is legend only.
Except apparently not.
And a legend of far older than the 10,000 years reported by the Menace. The scepter served the function of separating the darkness, according to legend, but that was far longer ago than that.
Master Dovehook,
Dovac available.
how long do you require for recharge?
What system of chronomatic measure do you currently apply?
Currently, we will use Avernus equivalent.
Still processing. There are atmospheric conditions that may delay charging. Best case scenario. 37 hours, 23 minutes, 11 seconds. Mark.
Immediately going to the PDA,
Okay.
to the BlackBerry, making a small program
Okay.
to run it down, and I'm going to add, call it 10% as a buffer.
Okay. Works for me.
Hmm?
Works for me.
Okay. You mentioned atmospheric conditions.
Correct.
Clarify, please.
The
Easy.
atmosphere of this world has many dense materials, some of which will occasionally cause offsetting charge. These offsetting charges can cause delays in the power matrix recharge.
And you'll be shielded against that.
I am currently shielded as much as possible.
Query. Once charge is complete, do you activate, or is there a nice one, Proxima? I just saw it. Where the hell was I? Once charge is completed, do you automatically activate, or do you await signal?
Once charge is completed, I have the capacity to activate. I will await the proper command to do so.
Understood. Where have you brought us?
Within a reasonable distance of one of the segments of the Sector of 7.
Looking around.
I am unaware of which segment is currently available.
GM, do I happen to know 7 what?
No. What you know is that it is a holy artifact referred to as the Scepter of 7. It has been drawn many times in religious paraphernalia by people who most assuredly had never seen the thing. So, your assumption is that it is a scepter broken into 7 portions. 6 portions for the shaft and 1 portion for the head of the scepter, which is apparently what this device is. The reason you assume that is whenever it has been pictured, it is usually either 7 different looking materials or 7 different colored sections, or in some way there has been a way to delineate that there are 7 individual components that form the Scepter of 7.
And I assume legend also has it that its full power is only usable when the 7 components are together. The most logical presumption is that we are on a quest to find the other 6 parts of the Scepter of 7.
Master Tovin did say that. At least in part. Lobak, you mentioned you do not know which part.
I am capable of locking onto the power signal given by components. I am unaware of which component is the closest. I merely moved our positioning to within a reasonable range of the closest component.
Will you be able to tell if we are getting closer?
Possibly.
Can you define reasonable distance?
Within 25,000 kilometers. When speaking within astral terms, that is a deviation of location of 0.0000000000000000001%.
Can you currently detect the power signature?
It is my belief, based on data available, that the component is on this world.
I was going to ask if that's what that seemed like, judging by the number of distance you gave us. Sounded like it. That sounded like a on this planet kind of distance.
However,
Or
also
twins.
understand that
Wordsmiths.
within this world may include satellite bodies, native or fabricated.
Right, of course.
Can you provide us with a vector to the component?
I shall attempt to process a thesis that will require some time.
Will that affect your recharge time?
No, but the current level of the power cell will affect how long it takes to process the thesis.
Very good. I'm just going to look to my... I look to... I look to the two that I have not met before just now. It seems we will be spending much time together. I am Martin Verstral. I am of the Temple of the Great Control. We search for clues. May I know your names?
Laios. Maiteko. I'm a fabricator. Sort of. I worked at a bar before this.
I could use one of those.
Well, brewing knowledge isn't one of my things. I'm more of a construct maker myself.
And you, Centurion?
I'm Remigius Nolan with the 42nd Centurion Guards. But don't try to butcher my name. Just call me Remy. It'll be fine.
Remy it is. Okay, I look over to perhaps you should introduce yourself as well.
I am Herodium.
Something just occurred to me. Herodium, is this the same material as yourself? Pointing to the ball.
It appears to be made of a similar material, powered from a similar power source, as the colors all align, which means it functions from a similar form of archaeotech. It is unlikely to have been the same creator, but there is definitely a similar signature.
Similar enough that it looks like it could be, what's the name of the planet again, from the same planet?
Yes.
I've written that down. It does appear to be Abernathy. Does anyone have a device capable of analyzing the atmospheric influence on the people present?
Does anyone have a survival skill? If anyone is trained in survival, you may roll it.
It's negative.
Nope. Oh, whoops.
I know, again, like somehow I managed to be like the only thing I did. Tried to take everything, but I can't take absolutely everything. I tried, I really did.
It's okay. How bad can it be breathing in sulfur and carbon monoxide?
Yeah,
I'm sure it's safe.
Does my armor have filtration for exotic atmospheres? Or?
Not yet.
Okay. I don't even remember that scene.
Oh.
Well, might as well find some place to hold up until things get charged. Maybe find something that looks like maybe shelter.
Towards the mountains, perhaps?
Suggestions for survival of carbon forms. Shelter. Water. Food. Avoidance of creatures that consider you to be any of the above.
Yeah.
How exceptionally helpful of you. Well, the mountains are as good a place as any.
It is a landmark. We have no kit. We have... Wow.
Nothing.
We have Jack and Shit and Jacqueline.
You know, with how many hours I spent trying to figure out my character, I really feel like I botched it terribly.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little of that myself. I had the choice between stealth and survival, and I was kind of like stealth, survival. I chose stealth.
I mean, just because it's not the one that's usable first doesn't mean it's not going to be the one that's
it's
the better
not-
choice.
It doesn't mean we're going to end up in a barren wasteland every single time, right? Like, it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question, GM.
Sure, please do.
There are lots of rocks. We're standing on a lot of rocks.
You are standing on a lot of rocks.
Can I make my tiny companion out of rocks?
Rocks and materials you have in your pockets, sure.
Okay. So I can construct a cairn. This is the first iteration golem that I have been working on / with. I wasn't expecting to have to make stuff out of bits and bots out of my pocket and foreign rocks, but cool.
No one ever
we
expects
can-
volcanic teleportation.
I mean, that is
We
true.
can use it as a sort of scout, right?
Mhm.
I can just send it tell it to go several feet in front of whoever the leader is, which I am assuming is going to be Remy.
You're just calling not it. That's all that was.
Mm,
Not
You may make a tiny construct. It'll be armor class 15, 20 hit
Okay.
points plus your proficiency modifier plus your intelligence modifier. You get a choice of either having a walk speed of 30, or walk and climb of 25, or walk and swim of 25, or a walk of 5 with a fly of 30.
Walk of 5 and a fly of 30 might actually be
Okay.
pretty good. So now it is a floating mass of rocks.
I'm going to
All the
assume that
better
your
to talk
attack
someone
type will
with.
be bludgeoning because you're using a bunch of rocks.
Yeah.
Okay. So, however, it does take 4 hours to build a tiny companion.
Is there any way I can kind of do that while we walk? Because we're going to be walking for a while.
Or down and making camp thing.
In fact, it requires a stable environment, which means you can be moving, but you can't be walking. If you are riding or in a vehicle, you can do it, but not moving under your own power.
Question.
No backpack crafting.
Two things. I also have a something too, don't I? Isn't it like a quest or sub-quest thing that I have?
Yes, yours is
like-
different. You have the ability to craft a as an Orgomancer. You have the ability to craft a find familiar cantrip, and whoever you hand that to, and this is once per day, whoever you hand that to can then utilize the find familiar device that you fabricated to in fact find a familiar.
Okay, so there's no reason I can't do the first days now.
Correct.
And before I go on with that, the other thing is I do actually have navigation tools, but I don't really know what that includes beyond the compass. Does it include anything that could help us locate shelter or resources in any way?
Yes. Give me a intelligence or wisdom attribute check with advantage. Good to see your regular dice showed up.
Yeah, is that nice?
By judging from your, to be fair, your land navigation is slightly hampered by the fact that you are on a world
Not on
that you have
average.
never seen, under stars, maybe, that you've never seen.
Maybe.
You don't know because you still haven't seen them, because all you see is
Right.
billowing clouds of smoke. That being said, there are certain things that remain constant in land navigation all over Avernast. So you can assume that it may remain a universal constant. And that information suggests to you that if you are to head northwest from this location, you will be entering an area which will have reduced geothermal activity. The reduced geothermal activity means A, the possibility of caves. Caves
Possibility
means
of water,
the possibility
like
of moisture, and moisture means the possibility of lichen or other substrata that could perhaps be consumable.
I suggest heading northwest there is an area of decreased activity in which we may be able to find shelter and sustenance
Very good.
according to my instruments. Also, we can begin to implement a system of creating external devices for each of you to fill specific purposes. Who intends to lead the march?
I can take point on this, but it'll take a second though, and it will arrange an arrow on the ground,
Okay.
pointing in the direction that we will be going.
Yay!
When he's done, I will go up to him and hand him a little box-like thing. You should be the first to utilize this. It will allow you to make a small device to provide additional assistance. The button is there. And points out how to activate it.
Well,
Okay.
he gave me a button. I push it.
I'm using tons of stuff for my first day.
Out of game. Choose a animal type that is generally would be considered like a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 hit point creature. So any of the normal familiar options or any other beasts that you're aware that we have that you may want to try to use.
Surprise! Also, side note to the other player, everybody start looking this up.
Go with either badger or squirrel.
Okay. You push the button on the box,
Button!
and you see the. It is apparently just several pieces of folded over and around metal. It's not so much a box as it is a large sheet of almost mercurially thin metal that is currently in the shape of a box. And as you press the button, it kind of like under tension springs and releases. And then you see it very transformer-like start to bend and fold and turn in and on itself.
Instant origami. Just push button.
Until a few seconds later, Chip and Dale's Quantum Entanglement Rangers. Until a few seconds later, you see a metallic origami squirrel.
I was really hoping it would be Badger, admittedly.
You now have a...
Origami Badger, sorry.
Yeah, well, that can be yours. You
I
now
can-
have... You have now cast the Find Familiar spell that you do not have, because that is how spellbinders work. And this is now the familiar that is bound to you.
Everybody's getting little buddies in this campaign.
For everyone's understanding, yes, Ari does, other than this ability, have access to the Find Familiar cantrip because of this ability. What this ability does is up to once per day, she can produce a Find Familiar device without spending the 10 gold material component.
Nice.
And
Which is
that's
good
what-
because we broke right now.
which
'cause
is
there's no
good.
bank.
Which is good because no one's here. So that is what the class. Sorry, in our system, a 10 silver piece, but you get the idea. Yeah, it makes it so that the material cost is not required, and she can produce one per day, and she can produce one every day. And at the end of the day, if it is not used, it disappears when the ability is used again. So they can never stockpile. However, it means that she can produce a fairly unlimited number of familiars, limited only by the amount of people that she can hand these things to.
I was going to say each person can still only have one, though, right?
Well, if someone else were to use it again, it would be using the Find Familiar spell a second time, which basically would allow you to make your animal shape transform into a different shape.
Got it.
Or to reacquire it if it
Right.
gets stepped on.
If it gets chewed. Sorry, the
Nice
rift dog ate
and
my
easy.
homework.
All right. We all ready to beat feet?
This way.
Everyone give me a unskilled survival check. As absolutely no one in the party is skilled in it.
Only
Hey.
kind I can
Leave me
get.
alone, I tried.
But fortunately, y'all brought your big boy dice. So, with rolls ranging between 12s to 16s, the entire party succeeds in the DC 11 check to avoid injuring or exhausting themselves during the next 4 hours of the travel.
GM, remind me again this healing pool thing.
Yes,
When does it replenish?
when you make camp.
So I guess that this kind of also involves like how do people want to spend it, but I do have a healing cantrip, so if it's a long walk, I can heal people as much out of that healing pool as they want to.
Yeah, there
During
is
the walk.
there is no way within the next 4 hours of walking that you couldn't get everyone healed back up to full out of their healing pool.
So I don't know if there's under any circumstances under which people would not want to do that. I haven't really figured out the logic or math on that, but I absolutely can.
If for any reason you wanted to use it later, but if you
But
were healed now,
ordinarily, it's
you
not
wouldn't
going
need it
to
later.
help
Yeah.
to save it.
It helps to save it when you have other methods of using other economies to heal.
And all magic still uses that, right? Like cast magic.
No. If it's a leveled spell, you are using
It's
you are using
my
mana.
dailies, and therefore, okay.
Yeah, if you're using a potion or a scroll, it is using the potion or the scroll.
Got it. So I would say that, like, for example, right now, under the circumstances when we don't know what we're going to run into, it would be better to save my mana pool and use the cantrips and use up people's healing pool if that's what they want to do.
Correct.
Deuce, can you remind me, please, because I'm actually not seeing it. How is the healing pool defined? Because I'm going to have to keep track
It
of
is
it.
equal to your maximum hit points at the start of the day. So it's very simple.
Is there anywhere on the character sheet to track it? Because our hit points can go up and down.
Technically, and I will try to put those in if we store it as
Like under
if you
favorites,
store it
like
as one of
mana or
as one of your resources or favorites, yes, then it's possible.
Okay. So we can set that up for later because I have a feeling that's going to become relevant. But yeah, anybody who wants to use however many points they want to out of their mana pool, I will cantrip away. I will definitely get mine back up to full that way.
I'll end up doing that as well.
I think it's a good
definitely
idea.
Heals.
Already used.
You used 2 before, so the rest up to your full vacant.
Right.
So that'll
20
be
to 7.
9 more, which means he has spent 11.
11 of 25.
I have spent 7 of 20.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
I've spent 7
Well-
of 22.
We'll probably also need to put something in for the adrenaline rush. Yes.
You can right now. It's just
Yeah.
1 because it's based on level.
Well okay. That's for later then.
Right.
I actually have one on my card.
Yeah.
Well, I did until the.
I'm fixing a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I get it. I see it. Yeah. That looks great. I love it. Thank you.
And I will do. There you go. You all now have a healing pool. Aside from
Okay.
Leos, who has a dyslexia pool, apparently. Let me fix that.
You only get so many dyslexias per day. Yay!
Apparently, she had 22 dyslexias per day because she had a Halaying pool.
Hello.
Oh,
And you've
Yeah,
already
I
been
heard
I
healed
didn't
for
even notice.
7. I get very good at self-editing. There's a series of tricks you can do with your eyes as you write something or as you read it, and it helps. Okay, so you now all have your Halaying pools listed on your character sheets. That should probably help. You head off on a nice, shall we say, 4-hour tour of the volcanic area, during which I will need everyone to please roll me a dreaded d6.
6. Wow.
Oh, I dreaded D6.
Not my fault.
Not me. Didn't do it.
Yay!
Nobody did it.
Yay!
While I'm moving on, or while we're moving on, I'm going to be photographs, notes, as much as humanly possible, because I'm still an investigator.
It's very true.
There's got to be something.
Give me a investigation roll, please.
I will do that. Hey, that's something I can even do.
Right. As you are, with a 15, as you are focusing on the area and taking pictures and looking around, you notice something in the soft, small stone in the direction there that you are walking. It is a rather oval-like shape, larger at one end than the other, so not a perfect oval.
Sure.
And you happen to see 3 of them, all about 10 or 11 inches in length, spaced out by about 3 to 3.5 feet.
In between each of them?
Yes.
How far ahead?
Down a bit ahead on the path, maybe 100 100 yards. You were zoomed out quite a bit.
Yeah. See, is there a drop before that, or do these look like they're on the ground currently?
Yeah, they'd be on the ground level.
Try to keep a little bit to one side if everybody so I can keep an eye on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
But as we get closer to, say, 60 yards or so, I try to zoom in a little bit with the BlackBerry. So we get any more details at all?
Give me another investigation roll.
I will do. That's pretty base.
Okay. With a total of 10, you don't see any further detail than what you had made out before.
Give me half a minute. No movement or anything like that?
Give me a perception roll.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
No, you're pretty sure there's no wait, you just heard a scurrying sound. Like a rock shifting.
Oh, that's right. Hold. I'm a bit too loud.
Right.
But did it come from that, or did it come from elsewhere?
From that general vicinity.
And I'm trying to keep an eye on it. But now I try to keep it down a little bit. Forward slowly. 3 rocks. But something moved. Hold at 40 yards. And then when I get to about 40 yards, maybe 39, stop again, take a good look at it, check that perception, and listen.
Okay, give me...
Remind me of that feature.
Give me a perception roll, as well as anyone else who may be now looking around or listening, because he's acting squarely.
Since I'm going to be specific, I'm going to be looking, but I'm specifically going to be listening. Will my advantage for my ears go off?
Yes.
Okay.
Several of you, which is to say everyone but Remy, are aware of a small figure trying to conceal itself in ahead in the rocks. And when I say small, I mean smaller than average human size, but definitely moderate child size at least.
Gotcha.
So what do you do?
How much of it can I see? You said trying to conceal itself. I am skilled in beast lore. Can I see enough of it to try to analyze what nature of creature it is?
You can...
It's actually a good shout out of beast.
Well, the problem with beast lore is that it really only
Does it have
works
to be an animal?
on beasts. Why can I not find this chart again? God damn it. Why do I...
I mean, I also have technical if it's a machine.
Why? There it is. There it is. It would require medicine or beast lore.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the big dumb American thing. Hello
Fire a
there.
nuclear warhead at it? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Hey, I would have loved that 20. Oh, well.
I was so close to a good roll.
Both of you were.
Yeah.
Ah.
But close only counts in horseshoes and nuclear warheads. So,
I need close
Okay.
for that.
So, Sadie, or rather, Leos goes, "Hi there," in their best Obi-Wan Kenobi impersonation. Give me a persuasion roll as you are attempting to look friendly, cheerful, and mostly harmless.
Fair enough.
Persuasion.
That was also
Just
a Douglas
normal.
Adams reference.
Just normal.
Yes.
Okay. 18.
That will be sufficient. You see slowly poking its head above the rocks, a 4.5 foot tall, red skinned creature that Martin and Herodium are able to recognize as a goblinoid of indeterminate type.
Oh. So I'm all like, oh, there you are. Hello there.
It is wearing clothing made out of various animal hides, carrying what for it is a hand and a half axe. For normal people, it would just be a rather goodly sized hand axe. And it has what appears to be tribal markings or war paint that is applied by a combination of oil and soot.
Still trying to maintain friendly and non-threatening.
Okay.
Try going a little closer and
Okay.
see if we can manage to communicate in what I know of as common.
Okay. So, in what you know of as trade, what are you attempting to communicate?
Water? Is there any water around?
Give me another persuasion roll.
Persuasion. There we go. Another 18.
On top. Giodo.
I have no idea what that means.
Giodo no kai?
Drink? Water? Drink?
Voda?
Water?
Voda?
Yeah, Foda.
Foda. Out of curiosity, what does Leo think that they just said?
Water.
Okay.
This is
Let's
fun.
see if they're correct.
I might have just asked to be murdered.
Are you an enemy?
Murder?
Yes, yes, I am.
You see it look in your direction,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes, and then turns back around, and puts its hands to its mouth.
Here we go.
Does anyone do
Uh-oh.
anything before I finish my sentence, or not?
I probably should have done this, and I don't know why I didn't think of it, but far off cantrip, comprehend language.
Okay. So it turns, and it says, Yodo Putai, Anani Suwan Mado, which Martin hears is, everybody stay quiet, but we have a witch with us, right?
Oh my god, that's great.
Okay, and I look around at the others.
And a minute later, you see another similar figure, much less aggressive looking than the model. Turn
Oh my god, they're so cute.
and come forward out of the same area of outcropping. And the two of them will come forward a little bit. And she will cast a spell. Is anyone stopping her from casting a spell?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
And then she turns to the other of her type, and says in a language that only Martin can understand, well, make them say something. And the other one looks at the group and just goes and says some gibberish, which Martin understands is, okay, now's your time to talk.
I tap on because I have this. Good
Okay.
luck to you.
And
I
you
go
now
forward.
hear her say to him, we have found the smart one.
Wait, he hears it or we all hear it?
He hears what they say. You hear gibberish. She hears
Okay.
what all of you say. The other one of her type hears gibberish because they both
Got
can
it.
comprehend languages, which allows you to
Got it.
understand languages but not speak them.
Got it.
Ah.
I take it by now I've realized that there's a small, tiny humanoid thingy in our midst.
Two of them, in fact.
Yeah.
So
Would you like
I
to
go
shoot?
forward.
No, but I definitely have a hand on pistol.
Okay.
Still in holster. But
hey, we come in peace. Shoot to kill.
Or chucking across the universe.
no, you don't take out your weapon and point it unless you intend to fire.
Yeah.
At
Correct.
this point, I don't have that intention. I just wish to be ready.
Go.
In case the intention becomes clear, yes.
She
So,
walks
yeah.
forward, looking at Martin, going, and again, none of the rest of you understand what's being said. So, you can understand me, and
Mhm.
I can understand you.
So it appears.
so we can communicate for our respective parties.
There to relay on to us the rest of whatever it is.
Yeah, you guys
That's
understand
saying-
absolutely everything that Martin says.
Yes.
Yeah.
No clue what she's saying. This doesn't even count as a language.
But it does.
But it does.
But it does.
It's
'Cause otherwise,
magic.
language would work. Yes. A moment, please. So, as you may have guessed, we are not exactly from around here.
Oh, that much was obvious, yes.
Yes. May I ask first, what is this place?
This place, this mountain?
Let the reply, this world, to start with.
Zarako?
Ah.
By the way, you have absolutely no idea for spellings.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spell doesn't give you that. You would need one of Casius's other
Yes.
spells that has the caption.
Yeah, you
all I
need to
know-
cast comprehend languages and also subtitles.
Or do I? Hold on, please. Could you write the name of the world in the dirt here?
Okay. Everyone who isn't Martin sees that she makes a series of like swirling, circling, interlocking loops. And Martin sees that, but also understands it to be this. Tizarko.
So comprehend
No, I did that
languages can
wrong.
also transliterate.
Zarako. There we go.
So comprehend languages can also transliterate.
Yes.
Nope.
No,
Okay.
he has another ability for it.
Oh, okay.
Very good. For matters of information exchange, we come from Avanath. And I don't know if it'll work for her, but I write out the power language, the trade language equivalent of Avanath. Then I try it in Celestial, then I try it in Infernal. To see if that helps her at all.
No, I'm not getting any of those.
Unfortunate. But, and we seek sustenance, water, and shelter. Not necessarily in that order. Would it be possible you could assist us?
She casts another spell.
I'm good.
Fine.
Okay. We can bring you with us to our village where we can discuss those matters. However, I would need you to hand over what weapons you carry before entering the village. And in exchange, we will make sure that your safety and security are seen to.
I need to pull insight on that.
You may
I
do
wanna
so.
make sure. I want to make sure they're not trying to, pull fast on.
Disarm us.
Yeah, well, I mean that too. So. Wow.
With a score of a 10,
Yeah.
you do not detect any deception on her part, a mild level of apprehension, but to be fair, she's never heard of you either.
I mean, that's
Right.
to be. And we are the guests.
Right.
And we're weird looking and twice their size.
Yeah.
Please allow me to communicate with my people.
Of course.
And I look back to me. They can take us in temporarily. Make sure we are supplied at least in short term. But we must not go in armed.
That's easy for me. I got nothing.
After he says that, can I make an insight check, just looking at her general bearing and...
Yes. It'll be a slightly higher difficulty, but absolutely.
Yeah, I would also take a look over her.
Insight away.
Well, there we go, Remy.
I'll even make that a dirty 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Remy does not detect any deception on her part, just a mild level of apprehension.
Well, let her know I can't necessarily be entirely disarmed, but I'm willing to secure my weapons.
I look back. You can. Anyway, I go back.
They have an expression for peace bonding.
I look back to my counterpart. We agree there may be one issue with Metal Man there. He can relinquish the exterior weapons, but says he cannot be entirely disarmed. I know something of. I think it has to do with the armor. I don't think he can take it off.
That's unfortunate.
Something like I am not of the military of my world, but
I'm actually quite surprised wearing that much metal. He has not yet, baked himself.
Meanwhile, I am that much metal.
I mean, there is that also.
Does she think I'm something in armor, or does she... Just for the GM to think about that in his dialogue.
Probably, yes.
I will start to, in a non-threatening manner, dislodge. So you see something that at first you might have mistaken for a curve of wings on the back of my back get detached and detached, and then you realize that it is kind of unfolded into a bow-like shape that then folds up into a non-threatening shape that she, makes a gesture to hand over. I'm sorry, that I guess it makes a gesture to hand over.
Okay.
This is acceptable.
Is anyone intentionally trying to hide any weapons?
No.
No.
Okay. Then, regardless of her deception, regardless of her insight check, she won't detect anything, so I won't roll. Yes, that should be fine for now. And will you all please come with me?
You look back to it. Come ahead.
Okie doke.
Prepare
Cool.
to relinquish weaponry.
Okay. As the four of you continue walking, you notice first that you have these two guards, and then within a short distance, another 6 join them.
Okie dokie.
And you continue traveling until you reach a bit of a shallow cave. It's more of a dugout, really, than anything else. And about a third or so of it is open to the sky, with the rest of it kind of tunneling beneath. But you notice that in that area, you see a number of small holes dug into the surface of the rock. She stops for a second, and reaches into a pouch and pulls out what looks like a fairly large length of rope. The material it's made of you're unfamiliar with. She then cuts the rope down into 4 segments that are all about 6.5 feet long, based on cutting the rope in half and then cutting each of the halves in half. And she walks the ropes over to Martin and says, "The passageways can be very tricky, and there are many switchbacks that you won't recognize or be able to find. I would suggest that you and your companions each take one of these, and I will have 4 of our warriors take the other end, and they will be able to lead you through so you do not get lost in the maze."
Very good. It's very good. Very good. And we're dealing with labyrinth. We will use these ropes. They will guide us through.
Martin, do you have Mind of Cassidius?
No. We were going to do that one later.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Do my navigational tools allow me in any way to kind of record or measure where we're going?
Yes. And specifically your knowledge of using them.
Yeah.
Give me a survival check. Just an untrained check, but you can make a check.
Yeah.
I was wondering, would I be able to create a small program on the BlackBerry to record?
Yeah, but there won't be much in the way of light.
No, that's fair.
I will give myself advantage on that time spell check, because that's when I roll well. That's when it's my
Right.
spell.
Exactly.
Are you rolling it with advantage?
See?
Oh, blow it up! Blow it up! Blow it up! We're using the rules! Blow it up!
For those who are unfamiliar with our game system, a 20 is not an automatic crit. in our system. A 20 is you roll a 20 and continue rolling, which means on that skill check for survival, Ari just rolled effectively a 35. You know precisely how to make it in and out of this cave. Like you
Nice.
you properly record the methodology for getting into and out.
Nice.
You take a good... It takes you probably the better part of a half hour, and you know that you are taken through multiple switchbacks, turnarounds, looping passages. You are uncertain if this is done in an attempt to disorient you, or if this legitimately is the fastest route through. That being said, a half hour later, you emerge, all of you, from the tunnels. Now, you kind of needed to crawl on your hands and knees, so it's not the
Sure.
most comfortable method of traveling.
They were made for shorter beings than us.
They're made for shorter beings that can scurry.
Scamper, scamper, scamper.
But you managed to make it through. During the conversation, during the travel, at one point you hear one of the warriors regarding the slowness with which you travel. Oh, they take so long. Why don't they just know how to run like everybody else? To which you hear, to which Martin hears the witch say, "You do know he can hear you, right?" "No, he can't. All they know how to do is speak gibberish." "Whatever." And then they continue on.
Love it.
I actually catch my counterpart's eye and just roll my eyes and chuckle a little bit.
You make it through into a burrow underneath. It looks like what you had been crawling through was a series of magma vents.
Sure.
And this is a emptied magma chamber. It is a village inside this chamber, roughly 60 feet by 80 feet in size and almost 30 feet in height. At least that's the size of the chamber. That's not necessarily the size of the houses.
Right.
And you notice that there are probably somewhere between 30 to 50 of these small creatures.
Look around a little bit and so forth. And then to my counterpart, this pardon my continuing curiosity. What are people called?
We are the Krolok.
Please depart. At this point, well, let's see here. No, I've got paper and pens because still,
Right.
at least I do. And I hand her one and a pen. Could I ask you to write that down?
Okay. She does another swirly, circly bit. Krolak.
L-A-K. I almost got it. Many thanks. And thank you for your assistance. And at this point, I'm just looking around because, being the investigator that I am, forgetting for a moment that we are on a world-saving mission.
Right.
Can that? I'm curious. What?
But this is for science.
Science!
Thank you, Harry. Thank you so much. But yeah, so we. Yeah, at this point, it's a matter of, getting settled down. And in the meantime, I guess I'll use the. I can use the BlackBerry. See, maybe I've got some background info on Zarako or the Krolak. Anything like that?
Nothing comes up.
Nothing at all. Okay,
No.
Hmm.
This is well outside of any experience that you have recorded.
Right. I have no idea where I
Nothing.
am. Galactic Center, not a damn thing.
Nothing. If there's a bright center of the universe, you're on the planet that is farthest from.
Or may as well be, since we have no freaking clue. Anyway. So yeah.
As you maneuver through this cave, you see another Krolak approach. And this one carries a massive club. The head
Massive for him, or
massive for him, pretty weighty for anybody else.
gotcha.
Carries a probably still two-handed for like any of these party members. A massive club, the head of which is carved out of volcanic rock. And he steps down and walks over to the individual that you have only heard identified as the witch. And he says, Hargren, what are these things? And why did you bring them here? And she says back to him, Dwala, we do not know what they are or where they have come from. They said they come from a place called Avernast. And I don't know where that is. But just look at them. They are in no way prepared to deal with the word she says. Your magic tries to translate as both mountain and volcano at the same time, almost as if they don't have a word for one that is not the other.
Got it.
For simplicity's sake, and only having one mouth, I will only use one of those words at a time. But understand that if I'm using them, they're usable interchangeably. Duala, look at them. They have nowhere near the materials and provisions to survive the mountain. I don't know how they got this far into the mountain. But if we didn't bring them with us, we were going to have to clean them up later anyway. At which point she looks back at Martin and is just like, no offense.
None taken.
Do they talk? in a manner of speaking, they have a way to communicate amongst each other. We can't understand it, but my magic allows me to know what they say. And that one is able to cast similar magics, so he can tell the rest of them what we say. Irene, you didn't think maybe you should have led with that? It slipped my mind. Fine. He turns and looks to the group. And by saying looking to the group, he kind of looks at the group and then through the group and then at Martin.
Mm-hmm.
So... where did you come from? I heard you come from a place called Avernast, but I need you to tell me where that is.
And I look to the witch.
Meanwhile, please remember, this is a 4.5 foot tall guy holding a 3.5 foot tall club made out of volcanic rock.
Right. Right. You can translate as I speak?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. Suddenly, I'm thinking, the Shogun where Blackthorn was speaking directly to Toranaka with Mariko translating at the same time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Assume that if I don't say anything interjectedly, you are aware that she translates correctly. Because you can understand what she's saying.
Okay. I do not know if I can properly tell you where Avernath is. It is not on this planet. My companions and I, were translocated to, and I go back to my notes, Zarako by extraordinary means. So we honestly don't know where it is. I should clarify, I beg your pardon. It is where we come from, but how to get there at this point, we could not tell you, because we do not know where we are at this time. We know that the name of the place, but we do not know its location relative to our location, to our home.
So you're lost.
Very much so. Do it. Somebody's got to do it.
It'll just say there every episode with no one actually saying. So... why here? Why did you come here?
Trying to figure out how to explain this.
Good luck.
Yeah, really.
I don't even know how to explain it, and I wrote it.
Yeah.
I could explain it, but I didn't hear the question.
Apparently, something. We were sent. We, as far as I can tell, we were sent to find something that is within. And at this point, I look to the witch. I have no idea if we use the same same method of measurement for distance. Somewhere within 25,000 kilometers of where we are now is something we need to find.
She says a number to him,
Mm-hmm.
which to you translates as kilometers. What more than likely is happening is the magic is translating to, local systems.
Oh, sure.
And then translating back again to your local system.
Oh, okay. Ooh, that makes it easier.
Everyone in the galaxy uses metric. Deal with it. There is in international copies of the book, sometimes the measurements are given in meters. One of these years for an April 1st show, I'm going to convert all of the measurements for all spells and movements into Danny DeVito's. And a square will in fact be one Danny DeVito in length.
True,
So you're
the
making
universal
a
system
square
of measurement.
Yes. Was that Noctis?
So you're making the square smaller?
Yes.
True.
By roughly 3.5 inches.
Oh.
Suddenly everything gets closer.
Because all squares will be 4 foot 9 1/4 inches in length for measuring purposes. Good luck converting everything by that much.
That's mean. Wow. Anyway, let's see. I'm going to look real quick. What is it, April 1st? Is that one I have to worry about? Nope. It's the Tuesday game. I don't care.
Good luck, Harry.
Yeah.
It's just 95%. It'll be fine.
Anyway,
I've just got to use like basically the same units and just like say the words different. It's fine. Should be close enough.
sure, why not? Anyway, so I explained to him that, and the problem is, we're dealing with 25,000 clicks, so no idea, no clue.
What is it you're looking for exactly?
Oh, I really hope it isn't what I really hope that somebody think it is. No, too much coincidence. It is a part of a staff, scepter.
Do you know what it looks like?
Yeah, not at all. We know it is of I'm sorry, I know I asked this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a similar material to Herodias?
Yes.
I'm getting that wrong. We only know that it is of similar material to Herodias. Give me a second. It's to my competitors here.
I walk forward and show them, like, my arm or something.
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at Herodium. I'm assuming you haven't shown him the orb.
No, I haven't.
Okay. And he kind of like tink tink and pulls out a dagger made of obsidian and like tink tink and then tries to do just a little scrapey scrape.
No problem.
Yeah, none of this is enough to do damage. It's just, yeah.
No, and I'm not reacting.
Okay. We might have seen a thing made of this before, but it's not anywhere near this big.
Could we ask? Could you possibly describe what it looked like?
It looked like
And as he does this, I'm going to try and sketch.
Okay. It is a round, long shape. It is about, and he holds up his hand and says a thing, which your brain translates to about 8 inches. But unlike that one, it has carved lines in it.
Around long shape, a cylinder, roughly.
Yes. Yeah. After it gets passed around, yes. It is not. It is not here. It is in. It belongs to the leader of another. The word that comes across is tribe, which you know is an approximation.
Right.
The word that he tries to say doesn't quite have the right etymology to be able to be translated correctly.
Tribe, clan, family, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in that region. Yeah. The word that he says is seko. Which you kind of notice specifically because it doesn't translate. But, yeah, so it belongs to the leader of another Seko. And it might still be in their possession.
Is there a reason to think it might not be?
He points to a number of the... he pulls back the cloak that's over the top of his armor. And you see he is wearing a necklace. And on that necklace is a series of about 14 or 15 long serrated claws. He was never as good a fighter as I am. And we have not been able to trade with them for some time because the Javras have been spawning in that area.
Javras.
Yes. It always sucks when comprehend languages just, is when the walls fell.
I can't remember the quote.
Right.
But I know where you're at now.
Right. If it's something that is entirely local and has no frame of reference, there's nothing to translate. The correct word in that case would be the word that you don't know.
Sure.
So, yeah.
What sort of entities are these? I'm trying to get the pronunciation. Javras?
Javras, yeah. They are mountain cats.
Do they raid? Are they intelligent?
No, but they are very hungry.
And they are reading between your circle and his circle.
Yes, closer to his. We don't let them get that close.
I look back to my people. We need to go to another family group, but there may be issues. We may have a conflict to deal with. They are mountain cats, is the rough term, and they sound rather nasty.
Well, how nasty could they be?
Well,
How big are these teeth?
Okay, so he's only about 4.5 feet tall. On him, the teeth are hanging to about mid-sternum, which means the claw itself is probably about 5 to 7 inches in length.
Oh, and it's a claw. So can I calculate on averages based on my own beast lore what the approximate size of such a creature would be?
Give me a beast lore.
Would our hosts be willing to furnish us with weapons to defend ourselves against these cats?
well, one would assume we would be allowed to recover our own weapons. But we should go in that direction then.
Now, it could be something as small as, say, a giant armadillo, which would only need to be about 2 feet long to have a 6-inch claw. But that's 'cause
Right, like a sloth-like,
Yeah,
it could have.
but that's because armadillos are like 80% claw. If you go with the assumption that it's a cat,
Right.
and the ratio of cat to claw is much smaller than it is for sloths and armadillos,
Indeed.
in which case you're talking about a cat that probably weighs somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 to 600 pounds.
Oh, so bigger than a tiger.
Yeah. Whose claws are generally only about 5 inches in length. At worst.
So,
Usually smaller.
so we're talking saber tooth.
Could be.
It may be the size of a large predatory cat.
It seems we will encounter these.
I turn to Martin and say, is this other group ally or enemy to this one?
They trade, or used to, but the Javras have interfered with that. And the leader here says the leader of that Sekho is not as good a fighter. We should, at this point, he speak to enemy. With this information, we will almost certainly run into conflict. Should we try this? It would possibly get us closer to our own goal.
I believe we have no practical alternative at this time.
I agree.
The only real alternative would be to wait for Dvorak to finish charging and calculate a vector to the next piece. That would kind of confirm things, but
we would still need to retrieve this one.
well, assuming it is indeed the same thing.
Do they wish us to stage any sort of rescue operation while dealing with this threat?
It is the next close to where it might be. I will pose the question to the leader.
Well, at the very least, I don't see where it would do us too much ill to curry favor with either of the Seikos, or whatever they call themselves.
Potentially both. So to the leader, we are willing to attempt to clear the way between your Sekos.
If this is something that you choose to do, I would recommend not setting out at night. They are nocturnal and would be more dangerous. It would be best to set out to rest here, and we will see to that you are fed and given water for the trip. I assume that you eat real food, and then I will have one of my warriors escort you to the edge of our territory, and see your weapons returned to you.
It is well.
So, with that, we will actually break here for the night. Everyone having survived the first session.
Yay!
Oh wow, that was in synergy too. That was great.
And chat, you get to decide who you want to give a fate point to. Do you give it to Ari for
Managing to do this without having a voice modulator.
do you give it to Sadie for properly role playing? This shit is way above my pay grade. Do you give it to Noctis for, unfortunately, this shit is exactly my pay grade? Or do you give it to Bacon for, oh shit, this is now my pay grade? Bacon for the back brace. Bacon, 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 bacon.
Everyone loves bacon.
Everyone but Morton, and he's wrong.
Oh,
No,
look, even Morton likes bacon today.
Wow, even Morton liked the bacon. Look at that.
Money.
It's a bacon sweep.
No, I'm still gonna put a thing in here, but yeah, I'm trying to think of who to give it to. Well, nah, I guess it doesn't matter. I can't vote for myself. I really don't want to, but it doesn't really matter because it looks like everybody else got me.
Really doesn't matter because you're not going to throw enough votes to move it anywhere else. I am hoping to actually get this series up on YouTube because it's a brand new series, so I only have one video to edit. So I feel better. I feel much better about my chances.
Thanks,
And another one for Bacon. So now we have a double fate point for Bacon, and apparently one of them had ketchup on it. So
Double bacon.
Double bacon, best kind of burger. If you're watching this on YouTube, please come watch us on Twitch, where you can do things to make it easier or harder for the party. This show is filmed on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. Additionally, we have shows every night but Wednesday at time of recording, filmed from starting either at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern, going to either 11 or 12 respectively. So feel free to come by. Also, look us up on Blue Sky at Single Step Gaming. There you will find a listing for all of our players that you can go and take a look-see at as well. Aside from this lovely story, tomorrow Jericho will be telling the Voyage of the Argosy, where I will be playing the bipedal unicorn, think BoJack Horseman, but BoJack Unicornman, named Sparklehoofs. Tuesday, Ari will be back with our Light and Darkness campaign, which is a old school traditional 80s style D&D story told through the lens of a modern game system. Wednesday we are off. Thursday we have a game run by Morden 56 called Exacted Spirits, where currently I am playing a dwarven fabricator named Doran Dalmar, who is voice credited to Jack Black. And then on Friday, we have Noctis returning for the Small Packages campaign, and where he plays a gnome who, with a group of companions, is out collecting things for a collector, collecting cursed magic items and making sure that they go away. And then on Saturday, we currently have our Denizens of Drakenheim campaign, which is wrapping up very, very soon, in which Bacon plays. And then Sunday, we're right back here again. So this week, for those in the room, this week we will not have a Small Packages on Friday this week or next week. Next week I will be celebrating Thanksmas on Friday. So we will be off because I will not be home. In the meantime, everybody, thank you very much for being here. We hope that you had fun. We had a blast entertaining you, and we will talk to you all next time. Bye.
Bye.